we have done the past few years. And the final thing is to come out, for us to come and show up for justice and to do the work that we're called to do together, and why we're all here this evening. Finally, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And so for those people who think that maybe they're safe because they're comfortably living in a home and everything is working well for them and the issue of housing does not impact them, that's a sad thought. Because wherever it is that there's a difficulty for those who are experiencing housing, it also impacts us. And so we are PACT. We are PACT. We are PACT. We are people acting for community together. Let justice roll. Let justice roll. I will now turn the mic over to Khalila Abdullah of Masjid Al-Ansar, who will be introducing our work focused on affordable housing. Good evening, everyone. As stated, I am Khalila Abdullah from Masjid Al-Ansar, and I'm a member of the PACT Housing Committee. Miami-Dade County renters are the second most cost-burdened renters in the country. Even New York City is ranked below us in that regard. In October of last year, PACT congregations held listening sessions across the county. And the top concern that we heard over and over again was high costs of rent and gentrification. We conducted research meetings with over 10. We conducted research meetings with over 10 housing experts and organizations, including Miami Workers Center, Miami Homes for All, Legal Services of Greater Miami, Housing and Community Development, and Stone Soup Development. Here are some facts you should consider. High rents force people to cram multiple family members in a single apartment, to take on 2 or 3 jobs, to leave the county, get evicted, and or become unhoused. About 70% of Miami-Dade County residents are renters. Over 60% of Miami-Dade County households spend 30% or more on rent. A 1-bedroom apartment rents for about $1,900 a month in 6 low-income neighborhoods. The area median income for the county is $57,800. For those 6 neighborhoods, the average annual income is $33,000. Think about that. Facts are facts, right? But these facts have an impact on real people. That is why we are here tonight. Now we will hear a personal testimony about eviction that will give a human pulse to these facts. I would like to welcome Mr. Brian Douglas to the podium.
Thank you, Khalila Abdullah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Douglas. I am a member of the Miami Workers Center. We are a member-centered, not-for-profit organization in Miami-Dade County with a focus on tenants' rights, workers' rights, and immigrant rights. Tonight, I rise in favor of continued support as well as expansion and permanent funding of the Eviction Diversion program. I would like to tell you my personal story. Due in part to a lack of affordable housing and a series of unfortunate events, when I first moved to Miami from New York in 2019, I was homeless and living on the street for a brief period of time. I finally ended up moving into a rooming house in November 2019 while I was on the waiting list for affordable senior housing. What was intended to be a short stay in 2019 due to the pandemic and other factors turned out to be 5 years, but it was a safe place and I had a roof over my head. In April 2024, 1 year ago, without any notice, the landlord verbally told all of the residents that the building was sold and that we all needed to move immediately. The landlord floated 3 different rumors. Number 1, the building was sold. Number 2, the building was sold to the city. Number 3, the building was condemned. Upon conducting my own independent research, I discovered that the building was under contract of sale to a developer since 2023, and the residents were given no notice whatsoever. The landlord threatened that if we didn't move out on our own, he would move us out and put all of our personal belongings out on the streets. I'm 65 years old with multiple medical conditions, high blood pressure, diabetes, and cancer. The very thought of being out on the streets last year with a heat index of over 100 degrees was a very stressful situation. I ended up in the hospital. Other residents became physically ill, including weight loss and loss of sleep, and one resident unfortunately passed away due to the stress. The vast majority of the residents in my building were minority, elderly, or disabled. I was a resident of this building for 5 years, and I was never behind in my rent. Other residents have been in the building for 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, and always paid their rent on time, because we all know the consequence of not paying your rent. One day, I get a knock on my door, and I'm thinking, that's the landlord. The time is up. Instead, he says, hello, my name is Bean. I'm with the Miami Workers Center. I want to tell you about the Eviction Diversion program, where we can provide you with free legal counsel. Are you interested? Of course, I said yes. The very next evening, the Miami Workers Center sent a van to pick all of us up, and we signed retainer agreements for free legal counsel from the community Justice Project, a not-for-profit law firm. A few weeks later, I get an eviction notice taped to my door, giving me 5 days to respond. Through the assistance of the Eviction Diversion program, I ultimately received several extensions, allowing me to maintain a roof over my head for 6 months. Without legal counsel, I was informed that this almost never happens. I was ultimately able to move into the residence of Sawyer's Walk, an over 62 affordable housing building in beautiful downtown Miami. We need the eviction diversion program to be sustained, to be expanded, and made permanent for the protection of tenants, especially those of us who are members of vulnerable population, low-income residents, families with young children, senior citizens, people with disabilities. We all understand that Miami-Dade County operates under a tight budget. The eviction diversion program should be considered an essential public service, like police, like fire, like road maintenance, like public libraries. We would never cut the budget or eliminate Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. We need the eviction diversion program for members of vulnerable populations. It can be a matter of life and death. We're not asking for a handout. The Miami Workers Center conducted research. We worked long and hard to fight for the initial eviction diversion program and also the subsequent subsequent renewals. At this point, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Philip Cardella of Coral Gables, UCC. Thank you.